Oh my goodness, you guys. It is so hot today. Like, so hot. I was weeding, and I mean, I had sweat dripping off my nose, like beads all over my chest. It is absolutely brutal today. Weatherman said it was going to be brutal. He got it right this time. It is horrible, even just walking across the field right now. It's been in the 90s, high humidity. It was absolutely awful. I'm surprised I've even got a chicken or two out right now. They've all been hiding in the shade today. I'm walking past them. But wanted to show you. It's not looking so good right now with the heat, but I think they should be okay. They're just working on coming back. We got a couple roses Sharon trees from my mom. She's got some big ones that are making all kinds of babies and taking areas over, and she's like, I gotta get these out here. Asked if we wanted a couple. So I took quite a few. We've got one here. We planted one way out there by a rock where Chris is starting to clear. We've got one in the front yard by the gate. So that'll be really nice. And then while we're right over here, I want to show you guys, because I was pretty psyched, and I talked about this in one of my other videos if you guys had caught that right over here we tried transplanting some milkweed to the yard, also from my mother's house, that we didn't know if milkweed would transplant, and as you can see, it didn't go well. The big plants completely curled over and died like that day, never came back or anything like that. And then we know that this is working this way because my mom's that she had transplanted into a pot to see if she could give somebody died, but she left them in the pot, and it turns out that this is what they'll do, is that the mothers died. But if you see that right here, these are brand new shoots of milkweed coming up. Got 1, 2, there's another little one right down in there. That's at least 3, 4, one right behind it. So we've got 4 shoots coming up off these 3 plants. So that'll be really nice, and we planted it back where we don't mind that it's going to spread, and you know what we don't want we'll just mow over as it comes up in the babies and try to get some good patches of milkweed going. It's going to be great for the monarchs. We actually saw 2 monarch butterflies at my mom's house when I was there getting the roses Sharon's, which is awesome. I saw 1 on Sunday at a greenhouse that we went to, so that's amazing. And not only for the monarchs, if nobody's seen milkweed before, they get these huge bundles of pink flowers on them. And I mean, I've literally counted 7, 8 bees on 1 bundle of flowers at a time. The bees love them, butterflies love them. The monarchs is the only thing that they can lay their eggs on because their larvae eat the leaves. So before we transplant them, which is what we did with these guys, we just go and look at all the leaves and make sure there's no eggs on them. But lady ducks getting some water. They make such a mess of their water. I switched that out this morning. They already lost half the water and made it all muddy. That's okay. And I'm really excited because we harvested our first cucumber yesterday, and I had my first cucumber sandwich of the season today. Love cucumber sandwiches. Yes, I am one of those cucumber sandwiches, tomato sandwiches, banana sandwiches. Love them all. Grew up eating them. It's really just a sign of summer to me. But I'm really excited because I've never been too good with cucumbers before, on my own that is. And this is the first year. There are so many cucumbers on that vine. They're starting to blow up really good. So I'm super excited about that. But otherwise, I'm heading to the garden to show you guys a couple other things. So I definitely do not think I'm ever going to do long red cayennes again. Usually I do the short cayennes. I did long reds this year, and they've just been a nightmare, as you've seen the ones that are getting huge and not turning red. And now I've had 2 different ones do this. They got so big, they haven't turned red at all, and now the tip, if you can see on camera there with the shadow, that's not just shadow, that's actually turning black and rotting out. So if anybody's grown long red cayennes before, I'm not sure what to do. My husband cut a little piece off one that was doing this, tasted it. They're really not spicy yet. I'm debating bringing them in and letting them ripen up the rest of the way on the counter. They're so much better when the plant does it, but I think I might have to do that because otherwise we're just going to lose the whole pepper if they all keep doing that. That kind of stinks. That's okay. We have so many tomatoes everywhere. There are so many tomatoes. These are my grape tomatoes. I also have early bush girls, which honestly they're not being very early. They're all still really green. I'm finally putting right in there. finally getting some that are turning red. We got one grape tomato right in there that's starting to turn orange, and I've got one early girl on the other side of the garden that's starting to turn a little orange. So it looks like these are all going to be harvested at once, which is really good for making the salsas and the sauces. So I'm pretty happy that it's actually working out that way. Most years I get a red one here and a red one there. So I'm kind of happy to see how it goes with them all coming in at once this time, to actually be able to make a good amount of sauces and such. Sorry, Shadow. My zucchinis have been so slow to start this year, but as you can see, I'm finally getting one good zucchini in there, which is good. You got a male flower here, but behind it you have another female flower there starting, and another one back here. So that's good. The zucchinis that I have, because I always separate them from each other because of the powdery mildew that can take over. I learned that tip from my dad. I've got two on the sunny side of the garden that are starting to produce, and I've got two on the shadier side of the garden which are kind of dinky and not really doing much, but we'll see. They might catch up with themselves. This is where I did a ton of weeding this afternoon while my baby boy was napping. He took a nice good nap today, which was helpful, and he got some rest and I was able to get some stuff done. I did a whole bunch of weeding over here and got it all cleared up because I am planting my second harvest of beans. I'm putting in a whole row of pole beans on the other side of the trellis, and over here I'm going to do 2 rows, one of green bush beans and one of purple bush beans. My green bush beans here that I already had did not do so well. They kind of finished up really fast, which is part of the reason I'm doing a second harvest. And something came in, and if you can see a bunch of them, something came in and ate the tops right off of them. Okay, they're about done. I've gotten quite a few bushels of beans off of them, which is nice. I've been harvesting for probably a week or two. And just an update on those little caterpillars and all that good stuff. I seem to have gotten a handle on them. The diligency seemed to pay off. Got one good broccoli head here. It didn't get too much damage from those little suckers, and it seems to be doing really well. There was a ton of eggs on the cabbages for quite a few days. I just kept coming out and get rid of all those eggs, and I have not seen a caterpillar out here in 2 days. And I have not. There was one cluster of eggs that I saw yesterday on one of the cabbage plants. I got rid of that, and I have not seen anything since. And I know that these caterpillars, the moths, will go through everywhere from 3 to 5 generations in a season. So they'll grow up, they'll lay eggs, those will come back, lay more eggs, those will come back, lay more eggs, and so on and so forth throughout the year. I'm hoping that I may have gotten rid of them from here, but I'm obviously going to keep checking because they could always come back. And I'm really hoping that the bulbs on these onions match these plants. We have really sandy soil here. I usually haven't done well with that well with onions because I've always been on clay soil before here. It's nice sandy soil. And I'm hoping that the size of the bulbs match the size of these greens, because that is a beautiful onion plant there. And I realized I never updated you guys on this. I definitely need to come out here with some water. It is so hot, it's actually making a crack in the soil. And if you can see, all those beets are coming in beautifully. I've got to thin them out, but I've got a ton of beets coming in, thank goodness. I haven't showed you guys my herb garden in a while. Parsley blowing up like crazy and taking over, which is awesome. Those plants, somebody gave them to me because they had accidentally bought extras, and by the time I put them in the ground they were half dead. I had to cut out all the dead from them. They were little spindly plants. They're coming in beautifully. And I just noticed today, because I was out there here the other day and they weren't like this, but my 2 lavender plants are actually starting to get some really nice new growth off of them. All this, oh, looking through the camera, I'm farther away than that. All that, it's nice new growth. You can tell the kind of difference in color of the green. It's sent them up a little bit taller. Planted these 2 far away. Lavender plants are expensive, so I only got 2 for now, but I want to propagate these by cuttings over winter time. And otherwise they should, over a couple of years, as long as I keep them alive through the winter, should turn into some really nice big bushes. So I'm excited about that. I love lavender. This scent really means a lot to me. It does a lot for me. Absolutely love it. All that sage, the garden sage seeds I planted are coming in nice. Coming in all over the place and starting to get nice and big. And the rosemary's got a ton of new growth and it's coming in. Nice little bush. I'll probably dig that before winter time and bring it inside to save it if I can. The basil bushes are, I haven't topped them as much as I should have. They're kind of scraggly, but they're going. And I've got some dill over here that is in a pot, and I really got to put it somewhere. It's what I call a false perennial. These particular plants aren't going to come back, but they seed themselves like crazy. So I can really just put that pot wherever I want it to come back next year, and it'll seed the heck out of itself. So right now I just have it there because I was thinking about planting it in this corner anyway. I haven't quite decided, so I want it to be mobile in case I change my mind. And on this side, the pineapple sage, which I love, is doing beautifully. And I'll probably use that in some of the salsas that I'm going to make with those tomatoes I was speaking of. And I actually got a full second round of flowers. They're starting to die off now, but second round of flowers on my chives. Usually you only get one flowering, or you get like 1.5 flowerings. So I got a full second, which is really nice. And thyme is coming in beautifully and starting to spread around. I've got to do a little bit more weeding on this side. I did it the other day, but it's coming back. 2 Greek oreganos are doing beautifully. One's getting tall, one's spreading along the ground. And 2 lemon balms are spreading pretty nicely. They're looking a little funky, but they're doing their thing, and that's all that matters. So that was just a quick little update, you guys. Oh my gosh, it is so hot out here. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you can even see the heat in the air. It's got like a whole haze over it. It's horrible, but you know what? I'm going to stop complaining about it because the winter is cold. I'll take the heat, I'll take the warmth, but otherwise, I love you guys. I will see you on the next one. God bless. If it's as hot as it is where you are as it is here, I hope that you stay cool, stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.